I bring in an extra suitcase just for like snacks and stuff that I enjoy.
Do you critique or compare supermarkets compared to yours?
When people ask me what's the toughest part about business, it's the people. Managing people is obviously very difficult. Not, in a bad way to an extent where like people are hard, but it's just every individual is difficult and things always happen. I'm going to get shit for this from the Korean community, but I think Japanese cuisine is... I'm going to get canceled by the Korean community, but...
Welcome back to the Chef JKP podcast. And on the show today, we have the man, the myth, the legend, and is also the CEO of 1004 Gourmet, the one and only Chang. Chang, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.
You're the first ever guest who's brought things onto the studio, so thank you very much.
It's such obvious, blatant product placement. I'm shameless like that. So.
No, it's good. I'm loving it. So, before we get into this, please, can you tell me your first or favorite ever childhood food memory?
I would say my mom making kimchi at home. Obviously, we do a lot less of that nowadays, but it's called jeokgeori, and it's basically like the kimchi before it's fermented. It's like fresh kimchi, so it's just been marinated. So you take the chili sauce, you put it between the leaves, and eat it straight away. It's super delicious.
So it's not fermented at all?
No, it's fresh kimchi. So without the probiotics, but still very delicious. It's like a quick kimchi, and I think that was one of my first childhood memories. And my mom would always let me eat and tell me to comment on how it tastes. And so she would kind of rely on me and my brother to kind of adjust the flavors as she's making it. I don't know if she really trusted my taste. Maybe she did to make me feel good, but it was, it was a nice thing to have.
And regarding, so roughly how old were you when you first started tasting?
Oh my God. I think, because it's spicy, right?
Yeah.
It's got a kick, maybe like 7, 8 later on, a little bit later on in life.
So that's what I wanted to ask you, because it's got a kick.
It does.
So at that age, did you enjoy it? Do you remember?
I did. I enjoyed spicy food from a young age. My parents fed me chogochujang, which is a gochujang, like vinegared gochujang sauce, which we eat with raw seafood.
Oh, wow.
So in Dubai, that like 32 years ago now, there weren't a lot of options for seafood as we do right now. So it was usually salmon or tuna or something. So we would dip that in the vinegar gochujang sauce and eat it. And I would like overly dip it. I'm a very sauce, spice oriented guy.
Right.
So that kind of started at a young age.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then through your adolescent years, what were the sort of types of food that you would normally have, whether it was street food or whether it was with family?
Oh, wow. So my parents made it a thing to make sure we go out at least once or twice a week. So we would go to kind of old school restaurants in Dubai. In Saudi, when we're growing up, we'd go to kind of the commercial, like the Pizza Huts. I grew up in Al Ghurair Center, so like, there was chicken tikka in back in the days. It was super delicious. There was a Chinese Palace, which unfortunately is not there anymore. It's one of my good friends, Simon, who also runs Ding Tai Fung now.
Mm-hmm.
So Chinese Palace was there, Shogun as well. So we went to a variety of different restaurants. Chinese Pavilion, where I'm going actually tomorrow or 2 days. Yeah. Again, old school restaurants in Dubai that we used to go to quite frequently. Spice Island. I don't know if you guys know, but that's...
Tell us about that.
I think it was Renaissance Hotel at that time, maybe something different, but it was one of the first like proper brunch places, but nighttime brunch. So we went there so many times. They actually gave my father an award for like being a frequent guest.
Amazing.
So yeah.
So then, as you got into sort of more higher education,
right,
you already were a fan of food.
Yeah.
but then you went into to study business.
Yeah.
Why was that, first of all?
I mean, I'm going to be honest.
Please.
I'm way too lazy to be a chef. I think it takes a huge toll on your body. You know, you go to work long hours, and I just don't have that in me, to be honest. So I think that was never a question that I had in my mind. At a younger age, when I was a teenager, I kind of wanted to be a hotelier until I also realized, like, it's a lot of work. You got to be traveling to different countries every couple of years, and it sounds like an amazing job, but again, for me, like, I'm very lazy. That's the premise of today's podcast: how lazy I am.
But then you went off to the US.
I did, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Tell us about that time, and specifically, again, I want to know sort of the types of food that you had during your time there.
I mean, you know, if you're a student, you got no money, right? So, I still remember there's this place that was selling three medium pizzas for $5 each or something.
What? I mean, were they tasty? They might have been really good.
It was amazing. I mean, look, at that time, your palate is not as developed, but also you're hungry. You have a much higher metabolism. So I used to order that a lot. There's a place called Uncle Chan's. It's like the old school American Chinese spots. Again, like $8 for like a big bowl. When we saved up a little bit or wanted to spoil ourselves, we go to the Korean restaurants because it's a little bit on the pricier side. We used to go to a lot of Vietnamese places because we're like always hungover every morning. Like, even we went before sriracha was famous.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I used to like douse my pho in sriracha and hoisin and just like relieve my hangover.
And where in the US was this?
Pennsylvania. Penn State.
Penn State, okay.
Penn State. It's like 150 or 67 years ago now. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh wanted to build Pennsylvania State University in their own cities.
Right.
But they couldn't come to an agreement. So the arbitration was like, let's build it in the middle, which was the worst idea. Like, pick one, you know? Okay. So it was between literally mountains in the middle of Pennsylvania, in between the two cities, like 3 hours away each. I don't know if they measured it. But I went from like living in Dubai where it was like 50 degrees Celsius.
Right.
To like minus 30. So that was a fun transition. Stayed indoors a lot, obviously. But yeah, Penn State, it was a good time, man.
Wow.
Yeah, very good time in my life.
So then what I wanted to sort of understand is, how long were you studying for business-wise?
4 years, 4.5 actually, in the summer. But yeah, graduated 4.5 years. In the U.S., when you have a student visa, they give you an additional year to kind of get experience in your field. So at that time, my brother was in New York studying in Parsons in art school, who's now a chef, by the way. And when he was living in Union Square, which is like center of New York, he was living in a dorm, and I was kind of, crashing with him. And in like 2 weeks, I found a job as a real estate agent. So I was doing that for a year. But then as soon as I joined, it was early 2008. You have the mortgage crisis and the Lehman Brothers crisis. So it was a tough year to make money, but again, like, really enjoyed my time in New York.
Also, I mean, like, what a time to be in the US, 2008.
Yeah.
Also New York, the height of the crisis.
Yeah.
That must have been super interesting for you.
It was. I mean, I made no money. Nobody wanted to buy houses at that time. Although in hindsight, everybody should buy houses when there's a crash like that in a city like that. But amazing experience. It was, obviously New York is one of the leading culinary cities in the world. And so experiencing that on a budget was still really nice. And just discovering the city, as an agent, you're walking around 4 or 5 hours a day, like, you're showing like 10 apartments a day. And so luckily I was a bit more fit at that time. So
not so lazy.
No, he's not so lazy. Not so lazy because I was hungry. I needed to feed myself every night. But yeah, like discovering different parts of the city, discovering different neighborhoods. I would go to a neighborhood before the meeting and try to get a bite in that neighborhood because you don't know when you're going to come back to the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So Yeah, again, New York's amazing.
Quite a journey of discovery as well, for you. And also, I think from a dealing with a customer perspective point of view,
Yeah,
you must have, after your year, you must have been able to read people very well.
exactly. I think the sales side of me was developed a lot in New York. I think real estate customers are just as bad, if not worse, than restaurant customers.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
For real though,
Yeah.
they're extremely picky. Everything in moderation, but if you're investing a lot of money into a space that you're going to stay for a long time, obviously, you're going to be.
Yeah,
Can I swear at this podcast?
You can.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
But yeah, you can, of course, because also now you come to think about it, but they can critique you immediately.
Yeah.
So
one other thing was like working as a real estate agent. I was one of the few Korean agents, and actually during the interview, I told them I was living in Union Square, and they thought I was just this rich Korean kid with a lot of connections with rich Koreans in Europe, which I had none of. And so they would pass me a lot of the kind of lower level rental customers that they had. And so to meet so much variety of people also allowed me to kind of develop that kind of relationship or knowledge about dealing with people,
right,
and selling apartments, which again, I didn't sell a lot of. I didn't sell any. I just rented some, but it was very tough. Yeah.
And the experience.
Yeah.
So then when did you come back to Dubai?
2009. At that time, 1004 was a year old. My father had opened this Korean supermarket in Al Barsha in Koro Al Kuri Hotel Apartments at that time, when there was like nothing. Now it's so developed. You have a lot of actually good restaurants there as well now. So 2008, he had opened it. I had come back in like February, and my father was, he's extremely generous to us. We're very lucky to have him as a father, but he was like, we have a Korean supermarket. We're importing Korean food. Why don't we start importing Japanese food and you start selling to restaurants? I do speak a little bit of Japanese, by the way. Learn from the night culture. But yeah, it was again amazing time. I would again discover, because Japan, the city may seem expensive because it's so developed, but no, there's so much good food that's under like $15-20.
It's incredible that you were there for 6 months, like essentially researching.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always been kind of very active in ensuring that I have the best meal wherever I go. And so I did a lot of research and like going to ramen restaurants. We wait in line for like hour and a half, get there early at like 11. And yeah, just again, discover the city, go to the outskirts, go to different towns. And it was amazing, man. Japan is one of my favorite countries.
Wow. So then after that extensive trip, you came back,
brought in 2 containers of Japanese food at that time. Japanese food products are a lot higher in value than most of the countries.
Why?
They're just more expensive products. If you get a container from Thailand, for example, it can be, $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever. With Japanese, like frozen containers, for example, it can be like 100,000 plus.
No.
Yeah, because you're dealing with like very expensive high-end products.
Wow.
So, we brought in 2 containers. It was my first time bringing in food products from Japan. Obviously, like there's going to be a lot of waste. At that time, we didn't have any customers. So, yeah, it was a very expensive learning lesson. But, you have to start somewhere, and just started developing relationships with chefs. One of my first customers was Chef Takashi. Now he has a Japanese restaurant called Tomo in Raffles Hotel in Bur Dubai, kind of healthcare city area. But he was one of the first, I think he opened the first Japanese restaurant in Dubai. It was called Yakitori House in Royal Ascot Hotel in Bur Dubai. And he had moved to this restaurant called Kisaku in Kalish Palace in Dera. And to be honest, like it was really fucking good. We would go there a lot, quite frequently, and he was making his own kimchi. And unfortunately, the kimchi in Dubai, it's quite watery, so it's hard to make good kimchi with it. So, and we know what it takes to make kimchi, right? It's very labor intensive. So we went to him and said, "Listen, I'm from this Korean restaurant." It was actually my father. He's the one that actually made a conversation, sold it to him. But it was our first restaurant sale, and we're like, look, kimchi's difficult to make. You can just buy from us. It's much more delicious. It's actually cheaper, probably, compared to the labor cost and the raw cost, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, cool, let's try it. And so, he was our first customer with kimchi. And then he kind of took me under his wing and really like helped me develop this business, introduced me to a lot of restaurants, and also introduced me to a lot of products that might be that might be popular in Dubai and stuff like that. So, shout out to Chef Takashi and Tomo. But Tomo, even until to this day, is one of my favorite restaurants. I went there like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's meant to be amazing. I haven't been yet,
bro. Like,
but I'm gonna go now.
They have pork ramen as well. They have pork license. It's actually a beautiful space. It's just a little bit out of the way, but they have a beautiful view. Their sushi quality is excellent, and it's more affordable than most of your kind of higher end spots.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So then, if we sort of fast forward to now, you're sort of supplying over 250 venues. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, then you have several different businesses. So to name a few, so you've got Seoul Street Coffee, Lami's Beauty, Ugly Burger, Real Ugly Noodles, something called a Gourmet Nights, which is quite cool. You must be very passionate about not only business, but also F&B generally.
Right. Look, I think I'm very driven to that from that perspective. I think I understand the city quite well, and it's been a journey. I didn't take on this many projects before COVID. I was focusing on my work, focusing on 1004, developing it. We'd moved from Al Barsha to the Onyx Tower in 2018. And I was just, making sure that it's running properly and, we're covering our holes. But during COVID, there was a lockdown, and, our partner in the Ugly Empire, our mini empire, Young Rek, he has a Korean restaurant in Media City. And obviously during the lockdown, there was no business. And so Eric, who 1/3 of Ugly Burger, needed a spot to run a concept out of, and Shogun's a huge restaurant. They have a really, really big kitchen, so I kind of introduced the both of them. But then we decided to work on this project together. And so after working with my friends, which they tell you never to do, but I think it depends on who you work with. After working with my friends, I realized that you can't do everything yourself. And with 1004, as a family, we're doing everything ourselves. And luckily, I have my father to kind of support me as well. And my wife as well was very knowledgeable when it comes to marketing and advertising. But after working with my friends, I realized, okay, if we kind of delegate different workloads to different people and we kind of focus on each other's strengths, then, we're able to kind of develop other businesses. And so started off with Ugly Burger. A year later, we actually opened up in Hana in Dar Wassel, Ugly Burger. That was a 1-year contract, so we were there. And then Chef Khalid from Abu Dhabi, he's a good friend, and he wanted to create something with us, and so we developed Ugly Noodles, which still doesn't have a spot. We're still doing pop-ups. I don't know until how long we're going to do it. I think we might set the world record for this.
Well, it's very popular, the pop-ups.
Yeah. We're very lucky that I'm very, grateful that the city appreciates it, because it's extremely authentic, right? We're not like bastardizing it. You got the Sichuan chili peppers, which we like roast from scratch and make it into this powder seasoning, and you can feel it. You can feel the spice. And we were kind of worried, but we're like, you know what? It's a fun project. Let's just see what we can do with this product. And the city reacted. So very grateful for that. And now we're working with Kitopi. They have a new kind of spin-off brand called Itopi, where they showcase different dishes from kind of several concepts. And they did a pop-up in Seoul DXB, F1, and now 25 Hour. So that's been a fun journey with Gourmet Nights. Again, my partner in Gourmet, his name is Nana. He's one of the top mixologists in the city. He does a lot of consulting work for a lot of projects and stuff like that. He used to be the brand ambassador for Suntory.
Okay.
So he knows his shit. And so I've always had this idea of bringing in guest bartenders from East Asia to collaborate with kind of my customers in of 1004, the restaurant customers. And I actually had a conversation with Four Seasons right before COVID to bring in a Taiwanese bartender. And then it was meant to be end of February, and that was like the height of, so I canceled that. We were like kind of in preliminary conversation, and we wanted to do it in front of seafood. They have this like really nice cool bar in the center. Anyways, so I mentioned this to Nana like in 2022 already. Wow. And he loved the idea, and so we decided to just like see where it goes, and we did it at Electric Pawn Shop. Shout out to them, Lynn and Libido, they're amazing. And then we did it at Akira Beck after in W Hotel. Shout out to Gio. We did it at Dubai Opera House. We did it at Bel Canto after that. And then at Sunny Izakaya. That was the last one. We want to do another one soon, but we'll see.
But it's pretty cool now that you've got different parts of businesses and different partners all looking to essentially work with you and also highlight different things.
Exactly. I think, we're using each other's strengths to develop this idea, and it's continuously evolving. Every Gourmet nights we've done, I think it's gotten better every time. But he has the knowledge and the background of cocktails, and we collectively have a really good community around us that is willing to kind of experience what we have to offer. But I think specifically to Gourmet, I think the USP is number one, obviously bringing in talent from East Asia is great, but that happens a lot in the industry. But a lot of the cocktail industry is very industry centric, so only kind of bartenders know about it. You don't see a lot of non-industry people in these events, and so that's what we wanted to showcase, because I have so many friends that are interested in cocktails and good food and just having a good time, and so we kind of wanted to showcase this experience to non-food industry people. Also, the other thing is we wanted to showcase kind of 1004 products.
Yes.
So there's many layers to this, and we wanted to showcase 1004 products in the menu to kind of spread the word that 1004 is not just a supermarket. We also have relationships, and we sell to a lot of restaurants. So that was one of the things. But also, we try to pair the food with the cocktail, because cocktail is the center of this event. So. Again, it's a fun project. We'll see where it goes.
Well, taking it back to 1004 Gourmet, if I've never been there, and I'm walking in the very, very first time, guide me through that journey.
Oh, wow. So designing this new shop, I kind of did the IKEA model, where I try to make sure that the customer goes to the end of the shop and comes back out from the entrance as well.
And how did you? Was it yourself that was thinking that, or did you take sort of market data, analytics, all that kind of stuff?
Definitely retail psychology, and so there are certain aspects to a supermarket that need to be there, and there are certain spots or certain categories of a supermarket that is stronger than the others, right? So. In our case, obviously, when you come in, it's usually fruits and vegetables. So we have that on the right side. And then we have the snacks right next to it. Snacks kind of near the cashier, because it's also an impulse buy. And then we have instant noodles kind of at the end on the right corner, because obviously everybody loves, Asian instant noodles. That's what a lot of people get. And then we have kind of the sauce and next to the butchery. And in the supermarket, butchery is the highest selling category because it's a high-priced product, right? If I sell literally one slice of Wagyu, I probably have to sell like 10 packets of crisps. You know what I'm saying? So because it's such a high-value product, I kind of put it further in so that the customer comes in. So we have the sushi and the seafood. We have the beef, and then we have the pork section after that. And the pork section, again, people that don't know, and they'll come for our pork because we have very high-quality pork. And that's kind of hidden in the back, not so conspicuous so that we're not offending anybody. And then we have the cafe where, again, if you're next to the butcher, you kind of see the cafe and, oh, what's this? You come in, see what's going on. You might come in for a coffee or some bubble tea. And then we have my wife's Korean cosmetics shop next to it. And then, and the Japanese Korean kitchenware on the side.
Because there's a lot going on.
It is.
And is it only Korean products or is it Japanese? Is it mix?
Yeah. I mean, complete mix. We are agnostic when it comes to our product kind of portfolio. We just want to bring in the best products from every Far East, Southeast Asian country. Like now I'm looking for charcoal, like not the briquets, but like the high quality bichotans. Not the Japanese ones, they're too expensive, but I'm looking at like Laos or like Myanmar or something. So again, like, and now I'm going to bring in a whole container of Japanese kitchenware stuff, not just plates. Literally anything, man.
So also the Japanese barbecues, Korean barbecues, you can bring all of those in.
Yeah, exactly. We already have like the nice looking, like, just kind of you put it on your table, put the potato gas in, switch it on, cook your own barbecue it in your house. We have that kind of stuff. But yeah, literally anything and everything we can buy. Like I'm looking at bringing in packaging material and chopsticks and like wooden chopstick, literally everything.
So then how much of your job is strategic based, research based, development based to make sure that you're catering to your current customers and then attracting new ones?
I think we're lucky because there are quite a lot of Asian food suppliers, but I think because we have a retail store, it gives us a bit of an advantage. But also the fact that we bring in a lot of high-end seafood, fruits and vegetables from Japan, which a lot of restaurants need. Before they open, we try to have meetings with the chefs. And Dubai is a very small city. You know that most of the chefs know each other. And so, you're doing a good job when you get a referral, right? And so I think that happens a lot nowadays. So very, very grateful for that and for all the chefs that are supporting us. But in terms of like strategy, that's just every single day. It's always in the back of my mind. Product curation, I'm going to Japan next week, and you go to food shows all over the world, and I really enjoy going to supermarkets whenever I travel. I like looking at what the city has. I bring in an extra suitcase just for like snacks and stuff that I enjoy.
Do you critique or compare supermarkets compared to yours?
I wouldn't say I critique, but I try to learn from whether it's display, lighting. I'm very weak in lighting, so I'm going to ask my lighting friend. He does a lot of lighting for the big groups in Dubai, so I'm going to ask him for some advice. But lighting, display, layout, the way they display the products, Japan is the best. Like it's crazy. Like the amount of attention to detail that these guys have is amazing. So every time I go, I learn, and I try to execute. I don't, again, because I'm lazy. But no, but that as well. Product curation, again, I try to look online, trends, ask friends. I'm actually thinking about this idea where, like, if you recommend the product and we bring it in, we'll give you like a voucher or something to kind of like make it fun for customers to kind of recommend products.
Yeah, incentivizing is always good.
Exactly, right?
And
so
it brings different people in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. So yeah, but again, we have such a good kind of foundation in our company with a lot of the managers taking a huge workload off of me and my father and even my wife with the cosmetics. And so that kind of allows me to, again, take on new projects and just do more fun things.
So then regarding the actual entirety of that business, I'm assuming that then you have your different teams for different things. So for example, you have the team that are strictly just for the chefs. You have the team that are specifically just for the supermarket. Obviously, you must have rather a large logistics team. Mm-hmm. How many in total now, people in the business?
We said 180 now. I think that's when people ask me what's the toughest part about business, it's the people. Managing people is obviously very difficult, not, in a bad way to an extent where like people are hard, but it's just every individual is difficult and things always happen, right? So our HR is extremely important. Again, like you need, head of finance, head of, retail. Yeah, you need a manager for each retail shop, purchasing manager. We have a manager for the restaurants, Shing. Wenzel is our HR warehouse manager. What else? Hasib, customs, online.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, very grateful. It's fun. When there's good synergy, it's fun. When something bad happens, then it's not fun.
Yeah, and that's when you need to.
It's all about mitigating that risk.
Right.
I think I've been through like a lot. Like I've had, we lost a lot of money through our staff. Things like that, you consider like, you just laugh it off at this point. As long as your business doesn't come crashing down because of any issues that happen, then it's all good. Just build it back up. That's the way we perceive it nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't believe, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that anybody necessarily teaches you how to become a CEO or a managing director. The only way you do learn is through the incredibly hard knocks and learning, especially when it comes to the human capital part of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if I compare yourself at year 2010 to 2024, you're a much different leader then to who you are now.
100%. Yeah.
So yes.
I think I'm a bit more chilled to a certain extent. Again, I think if that had happened like 5-10 years ago, I would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But at this point, I know a lot of the things that are happening, but it's all about putting in the measures and systems in place and to make sure just, again, you're going to lose money regardless. I think that's inevitable. Whether you're a restaurant, you're an agent, whatever, like it's inevitable. But, as long as it's not a significant amount, it's kind of look over it.
So what I wanted to sort of get into now is in front of us for people who are not watching us on YouTube, you brought in some really crazy and amazing looking products.
Thank you.
So run us through these. So are these the types of things that we would normally find in the shop?
Yes, it's actually my curation because I just love these products. When my friends come, this is like something that I would recommend all the time. So this is it's a sparkling yuzu juice. It's acidic but sweet. He uses kind of organic sugar cane, and it's from Japan. It's made by this guy called Marcus. I'm meeting him next week. He used to be a bartender, and he wanted to create a product that really showcased Japanese kind of really high quality ingredients, but also something that you can use as a mixer.
Okay,
so
nice.
This goes well with all your favorite gins and vodkas and stuff. So, actually, you try that. Can I give it to her?
Yeah. Sure. So let's have a little gander. So
it would be nicer colder, but
the smell is beautiful. So yuzu.
Yeah, it comes in 3 different flavors. We have mikan, which is the mandarin.
Oh, it's very refreshing.
It is. It should be colder with ice as well.
I can imagine that with like a nice mixer.
With a nice gin. It whets your appetite too, right?
Oh my God.
Acidity. It's super good. Now, this is...
Love that.
Thank you. This is a coconut water from Thailand.
This is so cool.
Right?
I've never seen the packaging on the...
the packaging is beautiful. It's called Michelberger, named after the boutique hotel that the brand is made in.
Okay.
And basically, they went to Thailand, loved coconut water, wanted to make a cool kind of spin-off brand. And I love the market strategy where they don't sell to commercial retailers like, the FMCGs like Carrefour's and Spinneys.
And it's not fizzy or it's just...
No. It's straight up coconut water. Super sweet. It's the best coconut water out of a can, in my opinion.
Oh my God, That's incredible.
Yeah, it's super sweet, man. Super duper sweet.
Wow. And how much would it cost to
this one? I think
this is how much?
520 ml. Yeah. 520 ml. I think we sell it at 22. If you go to like other restaurants, they sell it between like 25 to 30 maybe.
But this is a serious can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's in your face.
Exactly.
It's making a statement. Yeah.
And I love the fact it's called the Fountain of Youth.
Mm-hmm.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, don't sue me though.
Man, it's so cool.
It's a great product. We love it. We're gonna push it hard this year. So keep a lookout. Hopefully, most of your favorite restaurants and cafes and gyms will have this in the future.
Yeah. So then, okay.
And then
We'll get onto this a bit later.
okay, I'll peel that for you. So this is called funwari meijin. It's like a rice puff. My favorite flavor is actually the soybean flavor, but that's out of stock. This one is cheese. It's super delicate, really light. You can't bite it because you'll make a mess. And just take it in one bite. And it just melts in your mouth.
This is
Okay,
education right here.
this one is a bit broken. So here you go.
So you just pop it in or what?
Pop it in.
Wow.
Pop it in. Just melts in your mouth.
Okay. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is like an amazing. Again, thank you very much.
No problem, bro.
My mind is blown. So, being half Venezuelan, half British, obviously, I've been eating crisps all my life. What an idiot! Because these are amazing.
Exactly, right, dude. The way they're able to create these textures,
Wow.
and again, the attention to detail when it comes to Japanese products.
That's unbelievable.
Just packaging, but like, and the fact that look, they pack this in like mini packets because
exactly. So
they
you
probably calculated on average how many of these fuckers like each person's gonna eat in one sitting.
Crazy.
Like, you know.
But how smart that you have the packaging, which is big, and then you have this.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, if you want to save, if you hate wasting plastic, if you hate the use of plastic, don't go to Japan because they love this shit.
Right.
They'll have plastic and paper and plastic.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. And then these bad boys.
So that's really good. So this is one of my favorite snacks. This one I'll kill in one sitting because it's so good. So have you seen those shrimp crackers? I'm sure you've seen it everywhere, right?
Yes.
So these are from a Korean version of that. And they came out with a special limited edition flavor, which is truffles. I hate like kind of truffle oil and truffle fragrances. Like I really dislike it, but I make it an exception for this because it's just so good. Who would have thought like truffle and
shrimp? Sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. But look, like so good.
I'm still blown away by the cheese explosion crisps. So
yeah.
Whoa.
It's very strong.
The smell is strong and it's in your face,
But
right?
this with beer, bro, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That with beer?
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's amazing. I think it's one of the best truffle snacks in the world.
Okay.
Like it's so good.
So
The texture.
before I get into this, if I wanted to find these products, I can either visit your shop or can I get them online?
You can get it online, but our website is really, really bad. The customer journey is extremely, extremely annoying.
But I'm sure you're working on it.
We are like we're hopefully launching next month. We're gonna launch a new website next month and a new application as well.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that this year.
Yes.
Our website, it sucks, but if you use it and order, I really appreciate you. I promise. We'll make a better site very, very soon.
The reason why I'm asking, Chang, is because we don't just have people watching or listening who are based in the UAE. They're in UK, US, so on and so forth. So if they're stopping by, I'm specifically saying it because it'd be amazing for them to come and visit you.
I agree.
See what I mean?
I agree. That's one of the things what we really wanted to do in 1004 in the Greens is we wanted it to be kind of an experience, right? So when you're coming in, we want you to enjoy spending your time there because when you go to a supermarket, what do you want to do? You want to get in
and get out,
get your product, and get out, right? And so, again, I think that's what a lot of people do in our shop. A lot of the new customers, they come in, they browse around, they ask questions, and you get a completely different experience to what's available online, right?
So also, like you have like so many weird and wonderful things also in the cafe that you wouldn't necessarily have in a normal place.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it is an experience, and it is pretty cool. And also, from a chef's perspective, if you've never been there, it is like, Aladdin's cave, I call it, because there's so much going on, and you literally want to take away the whole shop because there's so much happening.
Yeah,
the dim sum. I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Please do.
But it's phenomenal. And also, you're right. There's a lot of chefs that I know that have either told me about what you're doing or they're dealing with you directly, so on and so forth. And also the community that we have here in Dubai, we're very fortunate that we have an incredible foodie community that everybody really supports each other.
100%.
And you are one of the people at the forefront that's doing this at all times.
Thank you.
The other thing I wanted to sort of ask before we get into this weird and wonderful orange, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not an orange. It's a clementine. I don't know. It's a mix.
It's yeah.
Is what I cannot ignore. And the theme of this season is sustainability.
Okay.
So for me, there's always two types of sustainability, especially when it comes to business. There's the sustainability of people, and then the sustainability of the environment.
Right.
So you as the CEO, how do you tackle both of those?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question. I think, to be honest, just being super honest, sustainability is not something that is a huge priority for us, just because, I'm not sure of many ways, like in terms of how to execute how we can be more sustainable. But one of the ways is, for example, with plastic bags. I want to start getting in, I think they're made of sugar cane or something, from Thailand. So these are like kind of biodegradable plastic bags.
Amazing.
They actually have a shelf life because it's made with food. So trying to do that. Literally now I'm going to change all my plastic cups in the cafe to paper. I'm going to do that. Also, just in terms of being more efficient about your routes when you're delivering is obviously very sustainable.
Yes. Because
we spend a lot of money on gas every year, like so much. And also, again, same thing with the product. We're not only sustainable by doing so, we're obviously saving money.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So bringing in products more efficiently. When we were smaller, we would have had to bring in, products in a 20-foot container, but now we're bringing in more 40-foot containers. And so from that perspective, also saving money, but also being more sustainable. So, just the top of my head, I think that's what we're doing well. Like wherever we can, obviously, like with protein, we're trying to get like local eggs, local chicken. Well, not local, it's from Oman, but free range, really delicious Omani chicken we're bringing in. So, yeah, I think that's what I can think of from the top of my head. But I need Omar's advice on this. Shout out to Omar, sustainable king.
Oh man, he's
yeah.
He's the be all and end all.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when it comes to human sustainability amongst your team, how are you dealing with that now?
To be honest, I'm gonna admit it. Like I'm not the best when it comes to like developing a good company morale and things like that. I don't know. I'm just not good at it. But I think based on kind of the staff retention that we have, recently we had our staff party. One of the guys have worked with us for like how many years? 12? Was it 12 years? And then a couple more that's like more than 5 years. So like,
wow.
We do have a lot of staff that have been with us for a long time. Our head accountant has been with my father for like 30 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. In his previous company. But so I think we're doing a good job. I think it's all relative to like, obviously people want to spend time in their homes during their breaks.
Sure.
So obviously like, we're quite flexible with that. If they're pregnant or have emergencies with family, we allow them to take days off. I think also what we tried to do, I mean, we're kind of understaffed now because we're growing a bit, but what we've tried to do before was we tried to have a bit more extra staff because I think it allows us to grow, but also it allows them to be a bit more efficient with their time. And I think they're a bit more happier when it comes to having somebody next to you that's doing the same job and you can kind of hand over the work so that if somebody goes in sick or has to go on emergency leave, then, again, our company is not jeopardized. So, there's many, many ways to do it. Obviously, salary is the main thing.
Yes.
Insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think staff retention is one of the most important aspects of our business or any business.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, but as you said, you're growing so quickly.
Yeah.
It's also not easy to juggle so many balls at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think to a certain extent organically, because I think our growth was, so in 2015, my father had started a new line of business selling to Carrefour and Spinneys. And that kind of shut up. And so we had to hire like 50 people on the spot. And like our OPEX was crazy. We were doing well revenue-wise, but we were losing money every month. And then we ended up selling that business right before COVID hit, which was like crazy. I think if we had that business, then it would have been very tough for us. So we've been kind of through that hump. And through that, we also not just learned a lot, but also developed a lot of relationships with big companies, because we're dealing with FMCG now, right? We're bringing in like 20, 30 containers like of these products every year. So that was really good, but it's a big learning lesson. But now, again, like I feel like, I watch a lot of basketball. I appreciate sports, and, running an organization is like just like any sports team. It's like, what kind of players do you have on your team? That's going to dictate the success of your company. So that's the way I see it nowadays. And yeah.
So then, before I get into the final question, before we get into the quick fire round, tell me exactly what this beautiful fruit is, because I've never seen it before.
Yeah. So it's a bit, yeah.
So it's an orange or a clementine or what?
It's called halabong in Korean and dekopong in Japanese. They kind of blended the DNA of two different oranges, and it's got a little like this knob on top.
So they blended the DNA
exactly of two different oranges, and it's the pulp is bigger. A lot of the citruses from Korea and Japan are seedless, which is really nice. Pulp is bigger. It's sweet. It's sour.
But the skin is also like super thick.
Yeah,
I'm already thinking like powders. Powders. I'm gonna make some powder, put it on some fish. Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very potent, but it's very thick.
And like you have the beef steak tomatoes.
Yes,
it feels like that. It's like so.
Also great for a marmalade.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot to bring our marmalade. We had like 1,500 kilos of Korean mandarin left.
Oh.
And we were worried that we couldn't sell it. So one of my friends has like a jam and sauce factory. So we made a Korean marmalade jam out of it.
What did you call it?
Good. Oh, just Korean. I should have been more creative with it.
Okay, so when I'm tasting it, you have the sharpness of the orange, but also the sweetness of a mandarin.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this should be a little less sharper, a little bit more sweeter, but yeah, it's still delicious. Like, you see how big the pulp is? It's like a grapefruit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really big. That's amazing.
Making a mess.
What a lesson today.
Oh, thank you. No, appreciate it.
Wow, that's really cool.
But next time, if you're in the shop, please let me know so I can give you the jam. It's really good.
Done.
It's like 50% mandarin. We made like 2,000 bottles.
It's an art to make jam. Also, like to get the temperature right when you're doing the pectin. And anyway,
super delicious.
Final question for you before we get into the quick fire. You've obviously been in the country for some time. You've seen the changes. You've seen the ups and downs. Now, in your opinion, how do you see the future of F&B in this country?
If the demand can back the supply, Dubai can and will be, one of the top culinary cities in the world. Obviously, places like Japan, Hong Kong, Beijing, New York, I think those are like some of the top places right now in the world. Thailand as well is amazing. But the talent that's coming into Dubai with, recently, Rowan 45 opened up, Shewam, Chef Hadrian, it's like one of the first chef-led kind of restaurants. You have everybody on the 50 best list who are all friends, Kinoya, Babe Miriam even, Boca, of course. But then you have like Franzen opening in Atlantis. You have Street XO that just opened up, and all of the Sugetsus and all the Wanzabio places, all the Royal Atlantis places. I don't know if you know Chef Tristan Farmer.
Yes, I worked with him at Gordon Ramsay at Claridge's.
No way.
2007.
That's crazy. I just went to Moonrise.
Moonrise, yeah.
Yeah. It's really refreshing to see so many different chefs with so many different backgrounds and experiences bringing their standard and elevating the standard of the Dubai food scene. So, yeah, look, I really hope that this demand keeps going, because if so, I can definitely see Dubai being one of the top places to eat.
Yeah, 100%.
It's definitely the best in the Middle East, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on and people coming in. I mean, it's and people want to stay.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the funny thing is, I feel is that I'm going to get berated for this. The established chefs from Europe, US, wherever, with the Michelin stars and their restaurants, I feel need to really push the boundaries compared to the talent that we've also got here, because the talent that we have here, they know the city and the diners extremely well, whereas the international chefs necessarily don't.
No. Yeah.
So it's really interesting, but there is one place that I think is incredible, and that is Row 45.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The service level.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Everything about
You
it.
get spoiled.
So, yeah. And we've had Jason on the show before, so.
Yeah, I love him. He's so humble.
Yeah.
So talented.
Yeah.
Their team is amazing.
The team is amazing. Dan Berg, also the exec chef, is a legend.
Yeah, Raul as well.
Yeah.
We work very closely with them, and to see the chefs ask questions about the product, ask about the seasonality, seeing them experiment with the products and create different dishes. Roll 45 is definitely one of the top right now. Also Tristan Studio, Chef Himanshu and Oceano as well. Love those guys.
Yeah.
Love what they're doing for the city.
Absolutely.
And they're representing from Dubai, right?
Big time.
They're not international.
Yeah, big time.
So, yeah.
So, quick fire. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. First things first. Noodles or burgers?
Noodles.
Okay. I think I know this one. Kimchi or bibimbap?
Kimchi.
All right.
Yeah.
Who would you say are your top 3 culinary heroes?
Wow. Culinary.
And they don't need to be chefs necessarily.
I mean, rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. Like, he's definitely my hero.
The legend.
Not just what he's done, but what he stood for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't scared about speaking up, for Palestine. He was just a very nice person that was, not in a good place. So, Anthony Bourdain, number 1. There's, I don't know if you've seen Chef's Table. There's a Korean Buddhist monk called Jangwan Sanim. I had the pleasure of kind of showing her around Dubai when she was here. I definitely need to check out her temple, but she's definitely one of my culinary heroes because of, again, not what she's done, but kind of who she is.
Yes.
And when you're around her, she's so much fun. She's like, like on Chef's Table, she's very like chilled and, this is my history. This is the food. When you're with her, man, like she's fun.
She's
like,
wild.
And she's elderly, right? She's like, I think 3-4 years younger than my dad. So elderly, but she has such a positive attitude, and she's so sweet. So sweet.
Love that.
We went to Trisand before, this is 6-7 years ago, maybe. And she had these bracelets that she gives out to people. And so she went into the kitchen and gave a bracelet out to everyone.
Oh, my God.
Super sweet. Love her. Love her. And number 3, my mother. Yeah. I'm going to get all emotional now, but
good.
I really appreciated her approach to, feeding us, because, when we're growing up, we're not as well off as we are right now. And she's extremely frugal. And she likes to make everything from scratch. And she dehydrates onion skin and uses it for stock.
Oh, my God.
So I appreciate that angle, the frugality. I'm definitely not as frugal as her. My brother is. But yeah, I appreciate her approach. She cooked for us very, very frequently. And she's my hero.
Love it.
Now, this is a toughie for you because
Bring it on.
I specifically put this question in here because it's a toughie. What would you say is your favorite ingredient?
Uni.
Because uni,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Because
It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world.
with
Yeah.
what?
Just soy sauce. Just a really good
Just soy
quality
sauce?
soy sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. Soy sauce, dab of wasabi, really good sushi rice, no seaweed. But uni is, oh my God, like, yeah, I love that shit. Because we import a lot of it as well. Some kind of product placing there.
I'll do a
But-
personal tasting with you about
Yeah,
that.
bro, do it. Let's do it. But uni, yeah, is one of my favorite things in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment in time,
Yeah.
what are your top 3 cuisines?
Cuisines. I'm gonna get shit for this from the Korean community, but I think Japanese cuisine is. I'm gonna get canceled by the Korean community, but you know what? They can't even say shit because you go on Korean review sites, right?
Uh-huh.
Out of the top 10, 8 are Japanese, man.
Okay, so there we
Like,
go.
bro, come on, like,
Yeah.
you can't say shit to me when, like, yeah. Yeah, Japanese cuisine, in my opinion, is one of the best cuisines. I recently I've really fallen in love with Thai food.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, the diversity of fragrances and aromatics and ingredients that they have is unparalleled for the rest of the world. I think there are only a couple of countries that have those kind of ingredients, right? You have to be in that geographic area to get those ingredients. And
They're super underrated.
yeah.
I love Thai food.
Um,
The last one?
I got to put Korean there somewhere, right?
Of course.
I'll put Korea before Thailand. I'll put
Okay,
Korea before
all
Thailand.
right.
Yeah,
All right, done.
that's for sure. Thai is last.
Okay. So now, throughout all of your experiences globally, you've dined in a lot of places, you're running businesses, restaurants, so on and so forth, pop-ups. What would you say has been your funniest ever, either kitchen or restaurant incident that you've seen or been involved in?
I think yeah. So when we first moved to Darwassel, when Ugly Burger first moved to Darwassel, it was during Ramadan, and Darwassel was extremely busy during Ramadan because of suhoor, and so we would get lines from like 11 p.m. to like 2 a.m.
No way.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like I went home at like 2:33 every day because we would just opened up and they needed help, but I didn't realize they didn't need my help because like I was trying to, you know, be supportive. I take an order, and this guy orders like chicken burger, no pickles, and I forgot to put in the order.
What, just forgot?
It was so fucking hectic, bro. I'm not. It
We've
was
all
so
been
fucking
there.
hectic. So like, I take the order, something else happens. So I'm like, you know, I feel like ADD, and 30 minutes later, he's like, "Where's my?"
No, man. And suhoor as well.
Oh my God, I'm
Wow.
crying.
Okay.
And then I go to the kitchen. I'm like, guys, I fucked up. Give me some chicken burger. And then I'm like, and it's so fucking. There's like literally like a line of 20 people outside,
Oh my God.
and Eric's like right in front of me. He's like, "What?" I was like, "Eric, I need some chicken burger now." I made a mistake. It's my bad. He's like, "Chicken burger," and then he's to the back like, "Get some chicken burger." They're like, "Chicken burger, chicken burger." Like push it to the front, push the order to the front.
Oh my God.
And then we get the order, like deliver. I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm really, really sorry." I give it to him. I'm like, "Really, really sorry." I was like, "It's all good. It's go." I'm like, I leave. I come back. He's like, "How's everything? Is everything okay?" You know, he's like, "Yeah, but there's pickles inside." So I've been banned from taking orders.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if that was subconsciously on purpose because I didn't want to work, but that was yeah. I was like known as the chicken burger guy for like a week after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
But that was funny.
What a chicken burgers. Right. What advice
would you give to 16-year-old Chang?
Wow. I don't know. Wow, that's 16-year-old Chang. Just work harder. No, I think I think it's important to try as many things as possible. It's important to experience as many things as possible, and I feel like I could have done that better. So definitely that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we have a lot of young chefs, young professionals, restaurateurs, up-and-coming business people. What advice, or what's the one piece of advice that you'd give them when it comes to business?
When it comes to business, I think this is something that I take seriously. Like, it is, don't take everything so seriously. Hindsight, if you have your health, your family's health, you have a roof under your head, you're eating okay, then it's all good. Just learn from your mistakes, move on. And the reason I'm able to think like that is because I hold myself accountable for everything that happens in the company. So, for example, I told you about this online issue where this lady kind of funneled points, right? Ultimately, okay, she made a decision to do that, but it was my fault for, number one, not putting in the right measures to make sure it doesn't happen. But number two, hiring her. Number three, allowing her to keep working.
Right.
So like
Right.
holding myself accountable, holding yourself accountable, for me, allows you to kind of perceive the situation in a different light. Because when shit hits the fan, what's the first thing you do? You blame somebody else. I try my best not to do that. So I think for me, that's very important.
I think that's a great piece of advice.
Thank you.
To be honest,
Yeah.
It's the same thing in a kitchen.
Exactly.
We tell the chefs, if you make a mistake, don't lie. Just say hands up and we move on.
Exactly.
But it's when you lie, that's when
Yeah. you
things
lose
get
trust.
dark. Yeah, that's what thing where. Now, if people wanted to get hold of you through social media, how could they do that?
Chang.sup.shin is my Instagram handle. Obviously 1004 Gourmet and ugly burger stuff you can find online.
Done.
Yeah.
So I'll put all of those in the show notes for everybody.
Just don't. It's too much. Too much.
Now, I just wanted to sort of have a quick recap because it's been phenomenal what we've been discussing. Obviously, your childhood food memories. I really love the kimchi, especially the raw kimchi. I think that's really cool.
In that plastic tub.
Love it. The types of food that you had growing up, education, the US, obviously doing the real estate stuff and checking out different neighborhoods, I think is amazing. And also you get to know different personalities and different people. Then obviously coming back to the UAE, learning about Japanese food and then going to Japan for 6 months, which I wish I could do right now. And then, of course, growing the business, the different types of businesses that you have, the different partnerships. Thank you for also bringing in these wonderful products, which I'm going to gorge on.
Thank you. You're welcome.
But really, it's just been absolutely amazing to learn about yourself, to learn about what you do. And on behalf of the entire community and on the Chef JKP podcast, thank you very much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you. Again, I really appreciate you having me on. I think I like doing these things because it's a good reflection of where you are in that place at that time. And so really enjoyed talking to you. Also, a new business. I'm importing natural wine from Lebanon. So we're selling in Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai yet, but it's super delicious. It's from a winemaker called Marcel. The winemaker is called Eddie, and he actually resides in Dubai. But yeah, it's super delicious wines, not too expensive, and we got an amazing orange wine that everybody's gonna love. So
amazing.
Just keep a lookout for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.